That part. Yes, sir. Yeah.
We already discussed the Irene Traore Putin thing.
Yeah, they wanted to say so. Yeah, we did. I think that was from earlier about the about. Well, I think what they were asking is, do you feel like Putin is legitimately backing him and has really supporting him? Is that, I
I
think that's
just
what
the same way I said earlier. The old guard got to give it to the new guard.
they might have came in late. Check out if you'll be able to see the replay family in the live stream section of the channel, and then also the episode will be available soon once we can get in and get some editing done on and uploaded. But real quick, I got two more if we got time, Chief. One, Nicole's House of Wellness says she don't have a question, but she's curious about the Creole Pope in America, the first American Pope, which we kind of tapped in. I'm glad she asked that because we talked about it on our last interview, our first, but our last interview. But then also, I saw how they did a little switcheroo. What do you think was the reason of them doing what they did? Was saying he had a little bit of this, a little bit of that, instead of just putting a black one out. What do you think that was about?
Well, they can't openly admit he black until we realize what the one drop means. Right? He a mama's boy. That's trouble for the church. Because as a mama's boy, the odds is that he won't follow his mama wishes. And if she's a Creole with Louisiana and Haitian roots, he already know what understood need not be explained. One big mama shit.
Well, there's that. So that's dope. And this will bring me to the last one I got because I felt like this was a really good one too, regarding what all we spoke on. So one G-force. So okay, now they're exposed. There's a new energy here now. So now what do we do to use all of this information and energy to our benefit?
We got to reach critical mass of awareness between as many other tribes as possible. The individual members' education is the goal in order to get them to be prepared to receive their birthright. Unfortunately, we gonna reach a point where we gonna have to give them shock and awe in order to wake their ass up. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but it's gonna be a massive release and download of information. And from there, that should wake their ass up. It could be anything from the Epstein files, to the Diddy case, to the Podesta files, to the Hillary Clinton email scandal, or it could be something we ain't even seen yet. It could be some other event that we haven't even seen that triggered the shock and awe of information dump. It might be a computer hacker that spills top secret documents unredacted on the internet. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's a potential for a lot of those things because of we have to get as many people aware of the shift by the ages and the shift by the authority to rule over the people of Earth. The mothers exercise first right of the earth right, and she's godfathered in through the oral tradition of the tribes, being the original law of the land. Following the oral tradition, she got a right to reclaim the land for the tribal mothers to restore balance back to the land. The whole concept or idea is to put the power where it belongs to make everything run the way it's supposed to run, and Earth will become heaven again, and Atlas shrug and the parasites fall. Fuck them.
Yowzers! Yep, there's that. Man, yeah, that's deep. That's deep. Yeah, nah, that was dope, man. I definitely appreciate it, bro. It was another one of them ones. I knew this was gonna be a classic, just like the first one. It seems like time just flies by so fast, man. It was going on 3 hours. It seemed like 30 minutes to me, But hey, it is what it is. I appreciate you, big bro. Like that was another classic one for the archives, man. It definitely was for sure. Did you want to leave the tribe with anything else on the way out before we shut down the fire session tonight?
Yeah, each one teach one. We all gonna reach some.
Yes, sir.
Are you old in the way, niggas? Move out these babies' way. Help them if you know how to help them. If you don't, get out their way.
Mm,
We already had our turn. We
mm,
had our day in the sun, our chance to shine. We blew it.
mm.
Now we take our experience to show the youth how not to blow it like we did.
Yes, sir.
And pass it forward, pay it forward. The more people that you can teach them, because the more you teach, the further you'll reach.
Mm.
You'll never know. You might wake up the next king of the earth
Yes, sir.
by just teaching them a little bit of truth. You don't know who you're gonna reach,
That's
but the
facts.
reach is critical for the redemption of the righteous, which is the tribes with the rightful status of blood right, air right, heritable
Yes.
birthright. And they know who we is. They've been following us since birth. So don't think even wage war. We never waged war. So we was always receptive to the offer of peace until 2024. Nope, 2019. Because when Chief Pontiac come out, Rod Hayes, one of the first things he said was, I don't care about your treaties. You never honored one, right? All of your treaties is predicated on a constructed fraud. Therefore, cancel them all for non-performance. Okay, now, looking at the treaty game, it's a stall tactic in warfare. It's supposed to have been used to bring to a resolution the final conflict of a war. But when you sit down and have a treaty negotiation between the leaders, that's why you're not allowed to kill the heads of state. But America do it religiously. The head of state, your leader, my leader, supposed to negotiate terms in which we ceasefire. We stop fighting, right? Well, they treaties is not made with us. Them treaties that you seeing is made with Europeans, French, and Spaniards. They not made with the tribes, right? Now we have what's called an ancillary treaties. It's treaties that came about as a leverage because the ones like the Chata and like Chief Warhorse clan, her elders was forced to make treaties because the other civilized tribes made treaties. So now she got to make, her people have to make some kind of treaty in order to be exempt from the war effort that's being waged against the people of the land. We never waged war, right? So when they call us outlaw tribes, them the tribes that was like, man, we ain't waged war against you. I'm not coming to talk to you about no damn treaty, right? But the treaties don't have no organic original names as the tribes was being calling themselves at that time. You got to remember, all our tribal names, all our names used to be tied to something in nature. You was either tied to the river, to the sun, to the sky, or to the earth. You was tied to the wind. You was tied to the elements. You was tied to the animals. That's why you got people running around with the name Fox and Wolf, right? Traditional so-called Judaic names. But the word wolf and fox not native to their tongue. Where in the hell they get it from? So we don't know what's taking place. It's a grand deception. Go back to Sun Tzu Art of War, and you'll find that he said all warfare. He didn't say some warfare, a little bit of warfare. He said all warfare, ALL. All warfare is predicated upon deception. Now, Karl von Clausewitz defended war. Karl von Clausewitz said war is an act of violence because of political ambition. Right? They telling us all this non-violent stuff, but they violently murdering us. The police shooting us down. They going up in these sisters' houses, shooting them in the bed at night. They shooting the babies in the park, and then they telling us to be non-violent. They telling you to be utterly insane. That's what they telling us. You have to be insane to accept violence against you with no retaliation of violence. Now, I found it kind of odd that all of the acts of violence in our community is against us, right? On all of the acts of violence in Paleface community is against them. Police shoot us all equal. The only people the police don't shoot down like they shoot down pale faces and Negroes is they don't shoot Asians down like that. They will shoot an Asian, but there's not enough of them for them to be a threat. So they don't shoot them down like that. They don't even, and then their lifestyle flies under the radar of what we call the criminal justice system. Right? There's very few Asians in prison. And they've been here for some hundreds of years, by the way. They've been here longer than prison's been here. Right? We amalgamated with many of them and they dark as us now. Right? And they came over here, some of them was darker than us. Asians. And we don't want to have that discussion because it flies in the face of the doctrine of white supremacists divide and conquer mechanics of racism. Right? So this is why we tell y'all the treaties have nothing to do with us. They was all put together based on a deception. If they're based on deception, in law that's called a fraud. Fraud vitiates all contract. To vitiate a contract means it's void and it never had weight. It's retroactively restricted. None of their treaties got nothing to do with us. They all fraudulent on our behalf. In relation to us, they treaties is frauds.
Yeah, they never honor anything. So that stands the reason why when Dr. York went in with the Yamasee thing, being that the Yamasee don't got no treaties with them, they considered like an outlaw tribe. Besides the international is on file in 1993.
They call them the United Nations call them OMEX, Elder.
Yeah,
that's what the United Nations identify the Yamasee as OMEX, but they still don't say they got no treaties with them.
No, they don't got no treaties with the United States. I looked it up several times. They got they got international recognition, but not treaties with the United States. So they consider like an outlaw tribe. So that makes sense that why they would try when Doc go in there with the Yamasee, they say, "Oh well, we don't give down." They don't honor no paperwork. They don't honor nothing. So how does that work? When so we shouldn't even go in there with no treaties, talking no treaty. They don't give a damn about no treaty.
Well, if they did.
Okay.
Now you notice that big old gigantic word "if"
right
at the beginning of that sentence. If they did, we would be able to use treaties to make the government stand down on most cases.
Yeah.
But since they don't, which takes away the if factor because they don't honor them. Yep. Matter of fact, in the Dred Scott case, who you think they was talking about when they said that they don't have no rights that a white man bound to respect? They got nothing to do with skin color.
Right.
He's got some chess terms.
Yeah. Yeah, because what's
being hashed out in legalese.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they got a game going in chess. Civilly mortis is the black, right? And the white nobility is the white. The first move was made by the white. That's called offensive chess. And the response to the move of the white was the black. That's defensive chess. The rosters turned the board around because they said if they're going to attack us using the philosophy of chess, we have to change how we play chess and we have to use our defense as viable offense. We got to defensively attack. But the government call it in this era something called a preemptive strike. There's no such thing.
Right.
There's no such thing as a preemptive strike. I was scared you was gonna blow me up, so I blowed you up first. That's retarded. The whole thing with warfare, and this is what's up. It's more facets of warfare than people could possibly understand in a civilian life. You have to be a student of war and combat and thousands of years of war and combat has molded the reality that we live in today.
Right.
Right. So we have to study warfare. Then you understand why all your street blocks are square. When they used to be concentric circles going into the downtown area.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Right. Now they're not concentric circles no more. That's called militarization of the village. The whole part about squaring off the corners, that's Masonic. It's because it's giving you a clue of who's involved. Squaring off the corners in regimented style. Regiment is military. Squaring of the corners is Masonic.
Right.
Garvey had a whole military ready to tear something up till he read the ledgers and he say, well, I can't do too much now. I just realized they got another 100 years of this 200-year George Washington challenge. So if it take us 200 years, it don't matter. Up you mighty people, do what you will. We still could fight within the confines of the restrictions to educate ourselves above the condition, but they teaching y'all that education is toxic because they use toxic education to oppress you. Right.
Hey, Rob.
What's going on there? If you get my shirt,
I want to cut you. Yeah. Hey, yeah. So, Rod, would it be safe to say the Bible was some type of form of treaty because it kind of like say turn the other cheek, love your enemy? You know what I'm saying? It got like it makes us passive. Go ahead.
The Bible is a contract, and the Bible is not just only a contract though. It's also the map to get out of the contract is in the book.
Go ahead. Fire.
But not only is it a map to get out of the contract being in the book, the parameters of the war is also in the book. Right? They tell you it's against Esau and Jacob. And we don't not realizing what they telling us. Esau means ruddy red earth, clay, the born of the earth. Jacob means supplanter, underminer, usurper.
That's right.
So the war is between Esau and Jacob. Now, the miseducated Hebrews think that Esau means pale face. That's not what it means. Adam wasn't a pale face. The word for Adam, Adama, and the word for Edom, Adama, is the same word.
Yeah.
They just tricked us by translating one with an E and one with an A because all vowels are interchangeable according to Grimm's Law of Grammar. Right? So we thinking that Adam and Edom mean two different things, but the war is always been against Adam. And what was the number one tool they used against Adam?
His woman.
They turned him into a rat. He was the first recorded rat in the history of the world.
Oh yeah, he told him. Yeah, I see where you're going. Go ahead.
Right. So, but why did they do that to him? To compromise his manhood. Eve wasn't the problem. Eve was the solution. If you eat from this tree, like Nachash said, the whisperer, the one with the lisp, the one who know how to conjure. If you eat this fruit, we ain't gonna be their slaves no more. We gonna figure our way out of this. And then he turned on his woman. As soon as he turned on his woman, that was the fallen man. You can't turn on your woman.
As
soon as you turn on your woman, that's the fallen man. That's literally a reenactment of the fallen man.
Go ahead, bro.
But a lot of these women have misunderstood what does it mean to turn on your woman.
Go ahead.
When you push your woman between you and the enemy, that's what it means. You can't never put your woman between you and the enemy. Your woman supposed to push you between her and the enemy because you supposed to be there to bust his head.
Go ahead.
But you ain't gonna be there to bust his head because you telling on your woman. Man. Oh man, I don't want no smoke with you, dog. You know, that's my girl, man. You know how she is. You know how the brothers be in the hood. Oh man, you know how my girl is, man. Yeah, I just, you know, man, I want problems always. I want all the problems. If you mess with man, I'm not turning down no problems. but it might not come in the reaction that you expect. Right? Because remember, all warfare is based on deception. I'm gonna make you believe one thing, but you didn't already violate it, so I'm gonna make sure you understand it. Mm-hmm. FAFO Generation X. We've been squaring up since I can remember. I don't remember when we wasn't squaring up. I remember now when we switched from squaring up to busting caps.
Right.
So it ain't even safe to square up no more because these dudes are too sissified. They too effeminate, pusillanimous, right? To even stand there toe to toe with another man and see who the better man is. Right. The better man ain't just who could throw the hands the best. Sometimes the better man is the loser of the fight, but it's what he did after the fight that made him the better man.
Right. Right.
See? So a lot of people not paying attention to wars and rumors of wars. We ain't never not been at war. Right. Go back far as you can for 6,000 years. You can go back further than that. You can go back millennia. Ever since we had some visitors came to Earth, we've been at war. Mm-hmm. We had Pyramid Wars. We had Vamanus Wars. We had Anunnaki Wars. We had Andromedan War. We ain't never not been. Every time somebody come to our house, they find that they like our house and they don't think we deserve the house that we built. But we built it though, to the specifications that we've been putting in our family's generational understanding of how we're supposed to live in harmony with the land. We built it. But now that we built it, foreigners is coming saying, oh man, that's a nice house y'all built. I don't need this. I'm going to take it for myself. And we're not supposed to say nothing.
Right.
Right? That's what the whole police situation is. That's why the police don't honor nothing that you say to them.
Nope. No constitution.
Because they not here to listen to you. You the enemy. They the soldier. They finna take you in. They finna round you up with their rant of war rant. Half the people in jail, they didn't even have a warrant when they got arrested. They're supposed to automatically been thrown out. Not supposed to arrest nobody without a warrant.
Yeah.
But how many people you know get arrested, then they go get a warrant?
Right.
You ain't supposed to do that.
Yeah. It's kidnapping. And
that's what it is. That's what it is. Most people don't know it's in the Supreme Court rulings that the police is not supposed to arrest you before the complaint is filed, registered, and logged with the magistrate. Mm-hmm. They're not supposed to detain you, hold you, take you to the station, stop you where you at and hold you. They ain't supposed to do none of that. They do it every day, all day long, 24 hours a day.
Color of law.
Yep.
Color of law. Hey, so my next question is, Rod, so what business do we have with them then? It says they ain't honor no treaties. We ain't got no more treaties with them because they broke every single one of them. What business do we have with them besides operating with their fiat currency? You know what I'm saying? That's the only business we got with them, seem like right now.
We don't have no business with them. They got business with us.
Okay.
They business is harassing us, killing us, and locking our ass up. That's their business. We don't have any business with them. That's why they always have to ask you a question. They have to initiate a dialogue. They have to open the conversation.
Yeah. That's why. So this is the thing, and we know that the government is rogue since 2001. We know it's been heist. So it's like this, man. So I think all we can do is really stay out their way as they go down, screaming and kicking.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, because like all you gotta do is just stay out their lane because this system, this whatever this is, it been faulty for a while, so it's like it's inevitable to go down. You know.
So, what they want us to get involved in all of this activist work for these people. That's why we don't need them. They need us.
Right.
Our participation legitimizes their false system.
Yeah.
How do they get us to participate? They usually push our emotional buttons.
Yeah.
Right? They need us protesting in the streets out of ignorance, being rioting, tearing up the town. When we won't do it no more. Because we see it don't work. It's not producing nothing. It's just like masturbation. Feel good, but you ain't gonna make no baby.
Yeah.
You know? So while we going through this, we watching them pay people to organize a rally, pay people to participate in the rally, and then tell us it just happened.
Yeah.
All the people protesting, we need to get this under control, call in the National Guard. They got to call the National Guard in anyway.
Yeah.
They got to call them in anyway because the police got to go.
Yeah.
Because we've been socially conditioned for so long to not be able to function without the police, when we get rid of the police, we need somebody there to keep the people functional.
Yeah. That's facts. That's facts.
It's like, look, when you go into rehab to get off heroin, right? They give you some stuff called Suboxone, right? That's the same thing. Replace the substance of addiction with a more benign, less invasive drug that'll wean you off of the drug you addicted to. We addicted to police violence. If the police just quit committing violence on us, we'll panic.
Damn.
If the police just literally did what their job description was, and only respond when clip on like the sheriffs normally did before they begin to be institutionalized with police mentality.
Yep.
You ain't supposed to look. Once they start doing that, the people are panic.
Right.
The police is the ones who force crime. We didn't have crime or criminals before 1492. How do you know that? Because we didn't have no prisons and no jails. And we didn't have no police.
Right.
The police is not 100 years, 150 years old yet.
Go ahead.
Let that sink in. They wasn't even called police before that. First they was called copper tops, and it was another name for slave catcher.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now it's a name for a battery. Let that sink in. Because every time we turn around, the copper tops is battering the people. So they said, well, they battering them so good, we might as well turn them into batteries because they keeping the energy of fear-mongering, powerlessness alive in the minds of the people. They reverse charging them, which is depleting the charge.
hey, Rod. So we know we don't got no business with them, and all they crimes that they especially drug crimes, especially it's really not no crime, really technically, unless you sold it to somebody that passed away and they cause bodily injury. But it's like only way you can supposed to be going to jail for drugs if you sold somebody some bad shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit wasn't no good. It's like
you told them some poison in place of drug.
Yeah.
Look,
but they did with
now,
yeah, go ahead.
There's a term in law called acceptable risk. If a person is a drug addict, he done already accepted the possibility that he could OD. So if he come to you to solicit you for drugs to purchase your narcotics, whatever the case may be, and he OD, especially if he OD because it was good and he was used to using trash, right? That's called acceptable risk. It's the same caveat that farmers, when you hear the reading of the disclaimers on the drugs on the commercials, if you take this drug, you may have one or all of these symptoms that we about to name for the next 3.5 minutes of the commercial.
And then they got it in a small print where you can't see it at the bottom.
Yeah, but it's called acceptable risk.
Yeah.
Right? You already know there's some risk involved. You just don't, you figure that the benefit outweigh the risk. It might not. What if you one of the people that's sensitive to the drug where you get all the side effects?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And that brings up another question because you're going into that. Now I put out a tape about 2 days ago about John D Rockefeller taking over the medicine game. He pretty much got rid of all the holistic. We had nothing but holistic schools over here. We didn't have the medical schools they got, where they teaching all of the pharmaceutical. Oh yeah, it's no cures and all that. We didn't have none of that. So could you go in on a little bit on that on the holistic schools that we had over here prior to John D Rockefeller getting rid of paying everybody to get rid of the holistic schools?
Well, that was when they was introducing the American Medical Association.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know you used to go to the barber to have surgery. You go to the hospital. You used to go to the barber to get your tooth pulled. That was the other side of the barber shop. The medicine man most of the time was the barber. He was the one tell you what you need on the land when you come to town. That was the check-in chief. If he wasn't the barber, the barber wasn't the one who was the medicine man. The medicine man worked right in the back. 9 out of 10, it was some old lady. Really old lady. Been around a long time, to seen it all, done it all. Right? So now, fast forward, they want to institute financial. Remember, everything that we naturally do, they can villainize it, demonize it, so they can monetize it.
Yeah, copyright it. Yeah.
Right. A license is permission to do something that's illegal. How is it illegal to heal somebody that's sick?
Right.
Who passed that law and made it illegal?
Yeah.
But you need a license to practice medicine.
Yeah.
Right?
Practice. Keyword.
Yeah. Practice. And we know, and we got Al Iverson to thank for us understanding the meaning of practice. You can be the greatest at what you do, but if you're not practicing, they assume you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because they don't never see you at practice.
Yeah, they never see him at practice, but he still win. Let's go sick that, because everything you saying is straight facts, because they tell us all of this. They say that when they got the Native Americans was over here, and then when 1607 is really when diseases started coming, when they came over here. I heard I heard an old Native American chief say that it wasn't no rats or none of that. So could you go in on like how when they came, that's when the diseases all came, like the smallpox, all that came with them over here.
You gotta remember, they was giving peace offerings